Hello, I'm Suzanne Collier and I'm the founder of bookcareers.com, the independent careers service for book publishing, and I'm also a qualified careers advisor. And what comes up in this video is again copyright material from my book, How to Job Search in Book Publishing. No post-it notes gone off yet. Hopefully next week, next video. If you aren't seeing post-it notes disappear, then please nag me if you see me on social media. I need to be writing this book because you need to be reading this book. You can't even pre-order it yet. That's how fresh it is. Now, today I want to talk to you about some of the preparation you need to do for an interview with a book publisher. And it's like, woohoo, your CV, your covering letter worked and you've been invited for an interview with a book publisher. Now, this research you need to do should apply whether you're looking at the publisher, you're being interviewed on Zoom or Teams, or you're being interviewed face to face. Very often now there'll be a first interview, which might either be a pre-recorded higher view interview, there'll be more about that in a different video, or it will be a Zoom or Teams interview. And this research will help you prepare so that when you go to the interview, you look like a really good candidate. Even if you've never worked in book publishing before, even if you know nothing about book publishing. So the first thing you should do is reread the job advertisement, reread your CV and covering letter and get to know yourself. And what I suggest to do, is our old-fashioned notebook and pen again. This is always a good idea. What you could do is to go through the job advertisement line by line again and to write how you match the role, but to give examples of where you match the role. So whilst in the previous video we might have said that you were working in a busy environment with a team of 6 people and you were reporting to a senior manager, here you might give an example and bring it to life. So you might say that I've been working in a very busy retail environment where demands are made upon me all the time and I have to multitask. And you might actually give some more information about an example that shows that you worked well together in a team of people, or that showed that you multitasked and you could work different priorities. The second thing is to research the publisher. Now, there's so much research you can do about the publisher. The obvious one is to go to their website and have a good look. But what you want to have a look at is what their website looks like. Sometimes, particularly if it's a marketing role you're going for, one of the interview questions could be, what do you think of our website? Or are you subscribed to our newsletter? So always subscribe to their newsletter. Then you want to look at the books that they're publishing. You look at how those books are displayed. You look at the covers. You look at how frequently some of those publications are happening. You look at how they promote new titles against those that are already published. You're obviously reading the About Us page on the website, and if they've got it, a history about the company. And if there's any career pages on the website, if there's any meet the team pages, and that's really the start of learning about the publisher. But I really hope you'd have done some of this before you even applied for the job. The next point is to research their competitors. So who do you think their competitors are on the marketplace? Who are their competing publishers? Do they have competing publishers, or are they in a niche all of their own? And then have a look at the competing publishers' websites and see how they compare with the publisher that you're going for. This is one way to easily increase your market knowledge. You know, some people emphasize, oh, you must know everything about book publishing. You must know everything about book publishing market. And the answer is, no, you don't. You don't stress about this. I've seen lots of people stressing about how much they know before an interview. Please, please, don't stress about this. This is just routine. So if you're looking at, say, Walker Books, a children's publisher, you might also look at Scholastic, Nosy Crow, Buster Books and other similar children's publishers to see what else they've got coming and how the books compare. The next thing you would have a look at is Amazon. I know, scourge of the universe, Amazon, but we all use it. Amazon. One of the reasons Amazon got so popular is because of their database of books was at the start of Amazon. Even publishers used to research their own titles on Amazon. So what you can do is you can use an advanced search on Amazon where you can search for a publisher's best-selling titles and also their forthcoming publications, which might not yet be on their website. So you have an idea of what they've published, how well it's selling, and what they've got forthcoming, because that can make a difference. Having a little bit of knowledge can go a long way. Now, the next tip is if you're going for an interview with a very small publisher that perhaps you've never heard of, or you want to know a bit more about, or if you are in a very, very stable job already and you want to know that the company you're going to is stable before you jump ship, then in the UK, the place to look at is Companies House on the government website, and you can look up the company and you can see an outline of their accounts, so therefore outline of their profitability, which is very important if you want to know they've got the money to afford to pay your salary. And you can also see the names of the directors and the structure of the company as well. Now, sometimes Companies House can be misleading. Don't always get caught up in how much overdraft a company has or how much debtors a company has. Look at the turnover and the profitability. It's a good thing to do is to learn how to read company accounts. But if it's a very small company, it's always worth checking out Companies House. The next thing to do is you've researched the publisher on their website. Now you need to research the publisher elsewhere. So obviously there's trade magazines like thebookseller.com and bookbrunch.co.uk where you can find headline industry news. But what I suggest is you put the name of the company into Google or other search engine and see what comes up. Because when you look at a company's website, you're just reading the information they want you to know. This is our lovely public face, but when you Google, you are likely to find out things that perhaps they don't want you to know, or if there's any negative news. Not that there's lots of negative news about particular book publishers, but also within that you can see what other successes they've had. What is everybody talking about with them? At the top of the Google page, it might show you what YouTube videos or social media they've got online. So Google is your friend. Do use it. And then we come to another friend, which is LinkedIn. And if you don't want them to see that you've looked at their profiles, then take your settings off visibility on LinkedIn. You go under settings, privacy, and there's different options for visibility. But what I would recommend is if you're going for a job interview, that sometimes you want the person interviewing you to see that you've looked at their LinkedIn profile. Doesn't mean make contact with them or connect with them at that stage. You just want them to see that you've looked at their LinkedIn profile. When you're looking at their LinkedIn profile, look at their career history, how long they've been at that company, where they've worked before. It would also give you a very good idea of what kind of career path you might be taking to get into a senior role like them. And what you will look at is they're likely to be sharing information about what's going on in their company and posting different things. You can also follow companies on LinkedIn, and now when you follow a company on LinkedIn you can tick a little box that says I want to work for you, and if it is a company you want to work for, then obviously tick that box. And then you will look across their social media. So you will look across Twitter X, you will look across TikTok, you will look across Threads, you will look across LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and see what you can glean from their social media. Now what you're looking at, and it doesn't matter if you're looking for an editorial job, a marketing job, or production job, what you're looking at is to get, first of all, some familiarity with their titles, but also look at who's responding to their posts and how many likes or negative comments they get, whether people are very engaged with their social media posts or whether they're just tweeting the same information over and over again. Is there a variety of posts? Is there engagement? And what you really want to get to come out of social media is about 3 of their books that you've seen, or their competitors' books that you've seen, that you could mention at an interview. So if they say to you, particularly if it's a marketing role, you are likely to be asked, can you tell us a piece of marketing that inspired you? Or have you been looking at our marketing? What do you think of it? Or could you tell us what you think of our latest marketing campaign? And this happens even at entry and assistant level. But please, again, don't get really tense about this. Don't get bogged down with this. Just try and get a little overview if you have time to prepare. And then the final tip is, if you have time to prepare, and if it's a trade publisher, that's a consumer book publisher, and you've got time, then go into a bookshop. Go and have a look at their books on the shelf. Feel the quality. Touch the nice books. Feel the quality and see how the quality matches what you saw or read on the internet. Are the books what you expected? Look at how many books they have on the shelves in relation to other publishers' books, particularly if it's a big publisher, and see how those books are positioned. And this is really important if you're going into a sales role as well. It's just having a really good awareness of the bookshop, the layout of the shop, and how the publisher's titles have been presented. Now, this is a quick walkthrough of some of the prep. The actual chapter of interviews, I think, is in 3 chapters, and I think it's already over 60 pages. I know, where have all these words come from? But if you want personal help, there's a link in the description, and it just leaves me to say it's copyright material. If you want to work in publishing, you need to understand how to respect somebody else's copyright, because copyright is king to everything that we do. And it just leaves me to say, may you all be doing a job you love and being paid the salary that you so richly deserve. And don't forget to read the description and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.